From getting the opportunity to stay in LA, where he recently bought a $33 million home, to a real shot at a title, here are the real reasons Russell Westbrook signed with the Clippers. But first, let's clarify what the recent trade was all about. Russell had to complete a buyout with Utah before he could join the Clippers. If you last remember him playing with the Lakers, don't worry, all of this happened really fast.
Defensively. What a defensive play, though, by Russell Westbrook. Chases down his steal and then throws up the lob, and DeAndre Jordan just hammers one.
This guy changes teams like people change outfits, but let me break down what happened. We all know Westbrook wasn't having the best time with the Lakers recently. Well, they shipped him to the Utah Jazz before the February 9th trade deadline. This was actually a three-team trade that involved the Minnesota Timberwolves. It seems like Utah wasn't too excited by the prospect of having Russell join their team. In fact, they'd even discussed the possibility of keeping him in a limited role, and it seems like Westbrook wasn't too excited about that. The nine-time All-Star reached a buyout agreement with Jazz and essentially bought his freedom. A lot of suitors showed interest in the player. Rumor has it the Chicago Bulls and Washington Wizards really had an eye on him, but in the end, it was the Los Angeles Clippers who got him.
Powell attacks. Westbrook to the rim and lays it in. 151-148, timeout Sacramento.
Westbrook will be playing with them for the rest of the season, but I know you're also wondering why he chose the Clippers of all teams. Well, the ESPN NBA guru, Adrian Wojnarowski, shed some light on the situation. According to him, Westbrook joined the Clippers for two reasons. Firstly, they'd help him get to a championship game. After all, the Clippers are seeking to build on their 2021 Western Conference Finals appearance. They're well in the race for the first NBA title in franchise history. Ever since Leonard and George teamed up in 2019, the Clippers have been unstoppable. They've made their way past persistent injury issues and have been frantically keeping their roster up to date with the best players. They're a team on a mission, and Westbrook knows that. And maybe the reason he signed with the Clippers is that out of all the teams that approached him, the Clippers had the most chances of making it to the playoffs. But that's not the only reason he was so keen to join the team. Adrian revealed the other reason for Russell's decision: he would get to stay in LA.
Here's Westbrook. Westbrook gets free and lays it in. Timeout Denver. It's a 5-point game, a 10-0 Clippers run.
After all, it is his hometown. You guys have no idea just how much Los Angeles means to this guy. Apart from growing up and attending college here, he even met his wife here. That's right, he met Nina at UCLA, and the two have been together ever since. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a happy memory in every nook and cranny of the city. Of course, it will be tough to give that up. He has a happy life with his family here, and it completely makes sense that he didn't want to relocate. And it's not just the fact that he's emotionally attached to the city, he also recently bought a house here. And by recently, I literally mean just a few months ago in November 2022. The house in question is a $33.5 million mansion in Los Angeles West Side. To say that it's luxurious would be an understatement. If he had to relocate, that would probably mean going house hunting again, and it seems like Westbrook did not want to do that. But of course, choosing to stay in LA came with its compromises. The Clippers GM, coach, and CEO said they'd welcome Westbrook to the team. However, they clarified that he shouldn't expect to be prioritized over younger players and that he shouldn't expect to play big minutes. Yikes. But before you say he'll have a tough time fitting in with his new team, let me just tell you something. He's already got a friend at Clippers, and that friend takes the shape of none other than Paul George. George and Westbrook were teammates back when the two of them were playing for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They spent 2 seasons together, and one of them was George's career year of 2018-19. I'm sure he has nothing but good memories with Russell. This is pretty evident when we look at how highly Paul has always spoken of him. In fact, Paul may have just convinced the Clippers to take a chance on Russell. It's no surprise considering how much persuasive power he has. He and Kawhi are pretty much the MVPs, and Paul knows how much he can push the team. Shortly after the deadline, George spoke to the media about how badly he wanted Westbrook to join the team. He pointed out that the Clippers needed a traditional point guard and said that that he hoped Russell would see this and figure something out. In short, he was pretty much hinting at his friend to seize the opportunity.
This time Anthony Davis finds a dive man, and that's Russell Westbrook, who gets the touch foul, and he's got a chance at a three-point opportunity here and see if he can bring the Lakers to within 3.
And who leads the Lakers in assists?
I'm sure the Clippers felt like a welcoming team for Russell, but with the opportunity to play with a familiar and friendly face. It might just be Paul's campaign that pushed the Clippers to take a chance on Russell. After all, he wasn't playing that great while he was with the Lakers. He was struggling with his shooting and was making some pretty questionable late-game decisions. But then again, I'm sure Paul's convincing wasn't the only thing that did the trick. The Clippers really needed him too, and it was kind of obvious. The Clippers were in 4th place in the West, but their offense ranks 21st in efficiency this season.
Towns leaves it short. Here we go. You're all clear, kid. George! Oh! Who knew he was Dutch? Goes for the windmill.
That's a massive downgrade from the 3rd place position they held just 2 seasons ago. So what's holding them back? Well, I'm no expert, but I'd probably say it's their lack of flow and inability to put pressure on the rim. And the organization knows that too, which is why they have a really specific role for Westbrook. He seems like the perfect player to set up, drive, and kick three-pointers. This will no doubt bring a competitive edge to the team and strengthen their title chase.
Help them kind of guide their way through. For the Kings, they've got 24 games remaining.
The team really needs a point guard to support the offense, led by Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. After trading Jackson and Wall, the team was left without a distribution-minded guard, which of course meant that Leonard and George had to handle a significant share of the playmaking duties, which just wasn't sustainable. And this is where Westbrook comes in. I'll admit his numbers are down. He's averaging around 7.5 assists this season. But if you look at the Clippers, the player with the most assists is George, with a 5.2 average. Now that Westbrook has joined the team, he'll be able to get the offense moving.
Westbrook brings it up, drives up Tucker, gets inside, ball back, it's good! Back-to-back buckets from Westbrook, timeout Miami, the Lakers back up by 2.
But of course, his contract with the Clippers is just till the end of the season. What's he going to do after that? What will his future look like? Well, I know he's had a pretty shaky career lately, but if I were you, I wouldn't be feeling sorry for this guy. He's earning $47.1 million in the final year of his contract. After that, he'll be an unrestricted free agent in July, and I don't think he'll have any trouble. After all, just look at how many suitors he had when he completed his buyout from Jazz. If he fits in well with the Clippers, they may just sign him on permanently. On the other hand, if he doesn't seem to be a good fit with Kawhi and Paul, he might get booted from the team. And that's okay. The Chicago Bulls and Washington Wizards really seemed eager to have him. Worst case scenario, he might have to move out of LA. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Russell just shoots the gaps with that quickness and then pulls it up, waits for the dive man, Anthony Davis for the easy.
Anyway, these are the reasons Russell Westbrook signed with the Clippers.